Hello and welcome to Creative Lounge on Trust TV. My name is Ahmed Mohammed Bello. This is your number one art show. Have you ever wondered how someone can turn trash into something very beautiful? Making a magazine or newspapers into a beautiful piece of art. Let's go on a short break, and when we return, we will find out. You're welcome back in Still Creative Lounge on Trust TV. Our guest is in the house and she calls herself the Queen of Collage. She goes by the name Uche Uguru. You're welcome, Uche.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Your works are really amazing.
Thank you.
Honestly, I'm blown away.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here.
These are made from what?
They're made from newspapers, books, textbooks, magazines.
So that's you turning waste into something very beautiful. Okay, before we delve into this, let's know your background.
Okay, so my name is Uche Uguru. I'm from Ebonyi State. I went to school at ABU Zaria, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. I'm a graduate of fine arts, painting. So I've been painting professionally since after graduation in 2014.
Okay.
And I've been exhibiting in Nigeria and outside.
Okay.
And it's been an amazing journey.
Why art? Did you decide from childhood you're going to go into art, or you were given? Why art?
Okay, so when I was growing up, I wasn't even the one that was in my family that was going to be the one to read art. It was my elder brother. So it was something we loved to do when we were kids. We would paint, copy from newspapers. Like we had art columns, comic columns. We copy those comics. We try to replicate them in a painting, and then after school, I just decided that I was going to read art. I was the only one who did fine arts in WAEC. So that was how it just happened.
And the journey began.
Yes.
Your style is collage.
Yes.
Why collage?
At that time, after graduating from the university, I moved back to Abuja, and at the time, there was no collage artist, so I was not really having enough money to buy paints, and then I had to think outside the box. I saw some newspapers in the staircase. And magazines. I'm like, why can't I start using this to create artworks from them? And I started using them, and wow, they started making sense. People started appreciating them, and some of my collages are even selling more than my paintings. So
collage sells more.
yes.
Amongst all the arts you make.
Yes.
You work with acrylic, you work with oil?
Yes, I work with acrylic and oils, but they've been the ones from my school. Sometimes I mix the collage with some paints.
Okay, what do you call that?
I call that mixed media.
Mixed media. Okay. Quite impressive. So you've been doing collage and it's been really amazing. Let's know your inspiration.
So I'm inspired by Nigerian women,
Okay.
African women. When I go to places and I see Nigerian women, they inspire me a lot. Their colors, the clothes they wear, they really inspire me to make my works.
Okay. Do you have other things that influences you, inspire you, apart from women? Are all your artworks basically about women? Because I've seen one you did about Fela.
Okay.
Yeah. Your artwork is more like an African art.
Well, mostly on women. They're mostly on women. I make more on women, but I have commissioned works
Okay.
that people want me to do a fella for them, or they want me to do some animals, or even in other medium.
Okay.
So I do it for them. But more of my personal works are on women.
And women.
Yes.
All right. That's beautiful. Do you have symbolism, any particular symbolism as to why you use women, as your inspiration?
I'm a woman, and as a woman, I feel like I can connect to other women, and through my paintings, I can like use it as my voice to speak to for other women and speak against like gender-based violence, because there is gender-based violence, and it is um, it is affecting women
Okay. So you can rightly call yourself an artist.
through my works. Yes.
Let's get to know more about your works. Do you have, you know, particular iconic works?
Yes, I do. I have some favorite works. They're not here now, but this one was done in 2020. It was like there's a guy and there's a girl. I'm trying to show that a woman can be equal with
Okay.
a guy. She doesn't have to like feel less of a human just because she's a woman. So I try to show equality, gender equality in this piece.
Okay. I can see that a man and a woman standing, you know, the colors are almost the same, no difference.
Yes.
Making this now is quite tedious. I'm an artist, so I don't see myself making this. So I want to know your creative process. Before you make this, what do you do? What do you think of? Because you need to have some level of deep thought to make things like this. Because this is amazing. What do you do? Do you have rituals you do? Do you swim? Do you really
Okay,
work
yeah,
before you decide the choice of colors to use? Or how to, put all this together?
Okay. Sometimes I meditate, sometimes I dance before making some artwork. Sometimes the mood just comes. There are times when I don't feel like painting, but there are times when the mood comes and I'm really having this excitement to paint. So when it comes like that, I try to like pour them out. That's why each of these works are different from the other. So the mood I use to create one is not the same mood I'm in when I'm creating like another piece.
Okay. So, and I noticed something. You have motifs in your works. Why do you have those motifs? Does it have anything to do with Africanism? Because I see, for example, this has African motifs on it.
Yes, as I said, my works are influenced by different feelings, different moods that I'm in. At that time, I was really inspired by a lot of African. I'm inspired by this woman, Angelique Kidjo,
Okay.
and she's really powerful. And she has some African motifs on her body. So I was watching a lot of her videos, and they were inspiring me to make some African motifs on my works. So at that time, that was what I was doing.
Most artists usually do have mentors or teachers who groom them. Do you have anyone you consult, for knowledge to improve in your craft?
Yes, I like Mr. Obi Nwegbe.
Okay.
He's a Abuja-based artist. I go to his studio. Sometimes we talk about works, but my works are completely different from what he does. There are times when he was using disposed cans to make his work, but those are completely different from what I use. I use paper. So we talk a lot, and he inspires me. He has like large size works. I think you should visit him too.
Okay.
He has really larger than life size artworks. So
Let's talk about disposable cans. Just made mention of that. Your work is upcycling.
yes,
How do you think it affects climate change?
it affects climate change in a positive way, because all those plastics are not plastics now. the
Papers, newspapers.
no, not even the newspapers,
Okay.
the disposed cans.
Okay.
Some of them that go into the sea, they are reduced. Well, mine is paper, so I'm like some of the planes that have like some emissions that go into the atmosphere are reduced.
So I could rightly say that you're not just a women rights activist, you're also a climate change activist.
Yes.
Let's talk about exhibitions. How has it been so far? How many have you been into?
I've been on several since after graduation. I've had some solos and I've had some groups. In 2019, I had one show in Morocco
Okay.
in Arcane it was themed Arcane Africa. So I had one there, and then I've had some in Abuja. I've had some in Lagos, basically.
So what's the response? What's it been like? The exhibitions you've had abroad. What's the response been like?
It's been good. It's been good. I've had a good patronage.
Okay.
Some of my favorite works are no longer with me,
Okay.
so they've gone to people's homes. And I have a gallery representing me, Third Pyramid Art Gallery.
Okay. That's interesting. So you've sold your works abroad and they appreciate the Africanism in your art.
Yes.
That's interesting. Okay, let's go on a short break and when we return, we'll continue from where we stopped. You're welcome back, and it's still Creative Lounge on Trust TV. We still have our guest in the house, the Queen of Collage. Uche, how are you doing?
Very good.
Obviously, you're smiling. So tell us, how long does it take you to finish a piece?
Okay. Every piece, as I've already mentioned, is unique in its own way. Depending on my mood, depending on my creative stimuli that is moving in me, whatever is moving in me to create. Some of them take weeks, some of them take months, some of them take years.
Years
Yes,
to
there are
finish a
some.
piece.
Yes,
Why would it take a year?
some of them. There are some works that I don't know what to do next. Like
Okay.
I get lost in the creative process and I'm like confused. Like what do I do? Then I just leave it and say I'll come back to it. Sometimes I don't come back to it till like after a year. Some of them still up till now, till for like 4 years, I haven't even completed it till now.
So in the writer's world, they call it writer's block. Here it's called creative block. Well, how do you
Artist
deal
block.
with that? Yeah. How do you deal with it? When you have a piece you can't complete, you abandon it. How do you deal with
Traveling
not having
helps.
inspiration? Okay.
Traveling helps. Going to a new environment, seeing new people, new faces, seeing new things. It helps to get me out of that artist block.
Okay. So how do you decide what colors to use particularly? I've seen some that are very colorful, some are monochrome. So how do you decide? Is it at the point of creating that you decide, or when you just
The
brooding
papers,
about it?
the papers they inspire me.
Okay.
They inspire me to work. So depending on what paper I'm having, some of them are, as I said, they are magazines, some of them are newspapers, some of them are notebook, textbook. So depending on what paper I'm having at hand, and a lot of them are gifts from people.
Okay.
So depending on what paper I'm having at hand will determine how the work will come out at the end.
So I'm puzzled about something. So you have maybe in your mind you want to, create a woman, right? So you go through the magazine and you start cutting out words, faces, and how do you paste them? How do you match them up to make a face?
That's
Because
what.
as a painter, I can't relate. I
Okay.
want you to explain. I want to understand how you create this.
Well, um, I can't really explain it. It just happens. The creative process. If you're, some people say that you're born with a creative, a genius is born. Some people say a genius is cultivated. So I was born with the gift, and I also cultivated it, nurtured it, and grew it to this point that it is at. So how it happens is I paste the papers and then it forms from my head. I just know the idea I'm having. I sketch it out and
Okay.
then I paste the papers and then it forms.
The reason why I'm asking is your works have light, they have shade, they have hues, they have texture. So I don't know. How did you? Okay, for example, this is light, this is dark. This is light, this is dark. How do you know what to? How do you know what to put? How did you get this nose to put here? How did you get
Ahmed,
the lips?
art is painting is the reflection of light. So when you
Yes.
know where your source of light is coming from,
Well, you know here you're not painting.
I'm painting now, but
You're
I'm
cutting
using
out papers. I'm just trying to, understand how you make this out.
it's just not it's just I'm not using my paintbrush.
Okay.
My paintbrush are the papers. My paintbrushes are the papers
The
I'm
papers are your
pasting.
paintbrushes.
Yes, they're my paintbrushes. So just like how you do with your paintbrush, carry your colors and put. This how I do with the paper. I take the light papers and put in the light areas, and take the dark papers and paste in the dark areas.
Please, sometime when you're painting in the future, just invite me. I need to watch.
No problem. I'll call you.
Let's talk about exhibitions. I know you've exhibited home and abroad. Let's let's know about it. How has it been so far?
It's been good. It's been well. There are ups and downs in everything with life. There are the good times, there are the rusty sides. There are the times when you have a lot coming in, and then there are times when it's like it stops coming in again. What do we do? So you save up during the rainy days for your dry periods.
Okay.
That's how it's been.
So, what countries have you exhibited in?
I've exhibited in Morocco, Nigeria,
Okay.
although my works are in different people's homes in
Okay.
different countries, different parts of the world. So some of them they order it from here and
Okay.
then I send it to them.
And the responses, how have they been?
They've been good. People have been appreciative of my collage works. It's been a very good response from the audience.
Okay, I know our culture here is quite different from the Moroccan culture. I know you've been represented there by your art.
Yes.
What was their response like to, our kind of Africanism?
It was good. It was good. It was a good response. They liked the work. So it was a good response. I didn't go to Morocco.
Okay.
My works went from here. So I wouldn't know how they saw it there, but hearing the response from my team, it was a good one.
Okay. In all the exhibitions you've had, has there ever been a point where, someone talks you down and says, no, 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 this is not good? Every artist always has that point where someone talks them down and be like, no, this is not good enough.
Yes. At the start, when I started, some people were like, "What are you using? You're using paper. Are you going to go far? Like, what are you doing?" There were people who criticized the art. They were like, "No, don't use paper." And there are galleries too that they don't fancy collage paintings. I've been to some galleries and they're like, "No, we don't want collage here." And it's fine. There are times when you get rejected and you take it well, and there are people that will accept you. But the acceptance overall is much, much more better than those who say no, they don't want.
Okay, so in what you're trying to say in summary is that there are people who appreciate your kind of work, even
Yeah,
though there
there
are
are
some
who
kind of
don't.
people who wouldn't like it.
Yes, there are.
So, challenges in sourcing for newspapers, how do you come by all that?
The challenge is sourcing for the papers. I don't find it as a challenge. I find it as an adventure.
Okay.
So when I go scouting for papers, calling people and asking them if they have, some people call me and say, "Do you need this?" And I'm like, "Yes, like these are my gold mine. I need them." So they send them to me. Um, the challenge will be that of managing a studio space
Okay.
because like space house rent is quite expensive here in the FCT. So having my own space has been kind of a challenge. I've had spaces I've had to move back to my family house and move out again and move back. So that's been my challenge, like having a permanent space. They've been
Space.
temporary.
So, would you say that people don't appreciate art in Nigeria enough to buy your art?
That's a tricky question. The appreciation is coming up, especially in Lagos.
Okay.
The appreciation of art and people buying art, artists buying art. There are different grades and different levels of artists. There are people who have gotten to their peak. There are people who are still coming up. I would see myself as an up and coming artist. Um, the patronage in Lagos is good, but in Abuja is not there yet. It's still growing. So uh, that is where my challenge is. That's where the challenge is.
So, you will say that you sell more in Lagos than in Abuja?
I would say the people in Lagos sell more than in
Okay.
Abuja.
But
Yes,
in for your own art,
yes.
so far, do you sell more in Lagos or you sell more in Abuja?
I sell more. Okay, the global technology globally has made it easy for you to sell anywhere.
Okay.
So I'm from Abuja, based in Abuja. I sell to any part of the country and outside the country.
So, do you ever have someone say, "No, your art is too expensive. I can't afford it. I want to buy it for 10,000 naira"? Because I, for one, have experienced such
Yes,
situations where someone tries to buy my artwork for 15,000 or 25,000, or commissions me and says he wants a life-size painting for 25,000 naira.
yes. People say anything, especially those who don't understand and those who don't value art or those who have not had experience.
Okay.
People's experiences are different. There are people who are real art collectors, and when they come and you tell them your price, they don't even argue with you. Some of them say, "Wow, your works are affordable," and there are people who have like zero knowledge about art. So when you tell them your price, they don't understand why your work should be as expensive as it is, and even so, when I see those kind of people, I just know where they are coming from. So it doesn't bother me when they say things like that or when they act surprised when you tell them your works, the prices of your works.
Okay. Let's move away from price and sales and all that. Do you have artists you like to work with, or artists you look up to, you want to be like?
Yes,
Tell us about them.
there is
Okay.
Jacqueline Osowori. I don't know if I pronounce her surname well. She's an international artist. She was based in Abuja. I knew her um, when she was still serving at art and culture, but now her prices are very good. She's well sorted out for internationally. She's gone really far with her works.
Okay.
So she's someone I would like to be like in the arts, in Nigerian arts,
Okay.
as a female Nigerian artist.
Okay. So, among your own peers right now, do you have artists you wish to collaborate with or exhibit with sometime?
Yes. I wish to have exhibitions with my friend Uyime Edet.
Okay.
Yes.
She does the kind of work?
No, he's a guy.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Okay.
So he's my good friend, and we talk a lot. And he has his own space here. He's based here in Abuja,
Okay.
but he knows his onions. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants, and he's pushing his art really fast. Someone that I would like to have exhibitions with.
With what you've said now, there's something I find quite interesting. The titles. You've made mention of, say, Prayer, The Conqueror, Munachi. How do you come about the titles?
Um, the work at the time, the message I'm trying to pass out. So they inspire the pieces, they inspire the titles.
For example, Munachi. Why Munachi?
Munachi is my niece,
Okay.
so that's her name, and it means I'm following God. Munachi so means I'm following God, and I think that I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God, and I feel if you have God backing you up, it doesn't. There's no place you cannot. There's no level you cannot achieve. There's no height you cannot get up to. So those are the kind of words that I try to put into the paintings to empower the paintings and to empower whoever has it.
The reason why I ask is for someone like me, sometimes I have to have a title before I paint. And sometimes it's after I paint, then I start thinking about the title. It could take me a week or two before I get a title.
Okay.
That's why I asked,
Okay.
to know the
Yeah.
process behind how you get your titles.
Well, I have the title. Some of them before I have some of them is after I've made the work, then the title comes to my mind. Some of them is during the process of making the work that the title comes in.
Okay. We are going to round up in a bit, but before we go, I want you to tell, people out there, there are women who want to be like you. A lot of young girls who want to be like you, say something to them, inspire them.
Okay, you're beautiful. Be kind to yourself. You can achieve. There's nothing you cannot achieve. Pray. God is very much real, and He's there to listen to you and to take you wherever you want to go to. Be kind. Be kind. Be a good person. Don't just be a nice person. Be actually a good person. Be someone who you would like to be friends with. Make sure that you are that person that you're looking to be friends with. Someone like you're looking for a very good friend. Make sure that you have the qualities of a good person, and then there's nowhere you cannot go in life.
You've heard it. She says, be kind, be good, don't give up on your dreams. If you want to be an artist, this is an inspiration for you. You can do whatever you want to do. You can turn trash into something very beautiful. You don't need to save up for paints, to save up for brushes. You can turn those little papers you have in your house, magazines, newspapers, old books, you can turn them into, creative art. Uche Uguru, it was nice.
Ahmed, my pleasure. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah. I hope sometime in future we'll still have you on the show.
Okay, no problem. I'll be happy to be
And
on your
keep
show.
being yourself, keep being true to your art.
Thank you.
So this is where we call it a day on today's episode of Creative Lounge on Trust TV. Join us same time, same station next week. Bye for now.